I think we did the right evaluation, the right assessment. We all understand what we have to improve, and we are focused on that. The most important thing is how to improve, how to be a better team, how we can improve our performance. And as a head coach, I take this responsibility, and we are going to make better decisions looking forward. And the second part of your question, well, I believe that the fans are motivated. This has nothing to do with the performance of the team. The fans are very excited because of the 2026 FIFA World Cup we're going to play, and this kind of events taking place on a Thursday, it is not easy for the fans to go to stadium. So the motivation should come from the inside out and not otherwise. This is something that we have to improve as well, the motivation. But for the 2026 Cup, the stadium will be full.
Hola, Mauricio.
Hola.
You've spoke in the past about for you
En
when
el
you were with Argentina.
pasado, usted habló cuando estaba en Argentina. La intensidad estuvo allí presente. Este juego es importante para la mentalidad.
High level of mentality in a third place game when both of these teams would rather be playing in a final.
No, it's a question mark. I agree with you. I think what we want to see is the same, focus and concentration and mental level in every single game, official or no official competition. And for me, tomorrow is going to be a game, an important game to see how we react. We need to show character. We need to show all that we were talking. It's not only about the result, but it's only about to improve our performance. For sure that we deserve to win the game against Panama. If you analyze after 94, 95 minutes. And with only one shoot on target, Panama score and beat us. But that is football. That is soccer. And we need to accept and to be critic, because I think to arrive in this moment, if you concede one goal, if you shoot two, I think you win the game before. But the problem was this lack of. I think the discipline was there. The game plan, I think they follow the game plan. They try to do everything. I cannot complain about not to try. They try. We ran, made the effort, yes. But after, it's about to be really aggressive and competitive and to create better chemistry in between, the players that are on the field. And that chemistry, I didn't see that chemistry. Chemistry is good. Okay. The chemistry I didn't see on the team. That is what worried me. What maybe was my fault, and now we need to select different players and see if that happened.
Hi, Mauricio. Jonathan Tannenwald, the Philadelphia Inquirer. You spoke after the game about what your tactical plan had been for Gio Reyna to maybe come in extra time. In terms of his health, fitness, anything, is there any restriction on the amount of time he can play in theory? Was there a minute's restriction on him, or could he play?
He's not playing too much in his club. And for us, I think it was a great opportunity to have an experience with him, because after in June, if he is still in Dortmund, he's going to be involved in the Club World Cup and is not going to have the possibility. If we want to call, it's going to be impossible. that is why I think for us, with not too much time to work and to know the player, I think was a great opportunity. That doesn't mean that he's ready to play in the way that we expect from him to perform. But for sure, hope that tomorrow have some minutes. But the most important thing is how he's showing now in every single training session and spend time with us. Because I think it's not maybe in his best, but he's here to try to know him and from here to help him to arrive in his best. That is the reality. I am so honest, but I think I think it's important player. That was important player in the past. I think it's a player that we need to recover and put in the same level to the rest of the player to have the possibility to compete for one place in the World Cup.
Jeff Carlisle with ESPN. Mauricio, just to follow up a little bit on what you said about the Club World Cup, are you in discussions with Juventus and Dortmund about possibly getting those players released for the Gold Cup later this summer? Are there any discussions on that, or is it pretty much set in stone?
No, at the moment, no. At the moment, we are not discussing about that. I think we never know about the future of the player. I think at the moment, for sure, we will pay attention in the next months about to see what is going on and if it's that possibility or not. But even if it's not possible, I think open the chance for another player to be involved. No?
Right. Mauricio. Henry Bushnell from Yahoo Sports. You mentioned the aggression, the competitiveness. Is that something that you think that you, as the coach, can bring out of the players? And how will you try to kind of make sure that that is something that they compete with in every game going forward?
I think it's like a group. I think we need to create that. I think we can help, yes. And then the player is about to show that. When we talk about motivation, if you can motivate a group, yes, of course. You have this characteristic that maybe you can find different, ways to motivate people or groups. But in the same time, you need to identify the player that have their own motivation and their own aggressivity because they are comfortable in the behaving in this way. If someone have not or doesn't feel that own motivation, is difficult. You can add once, 2, 3, but on the end, you are missing something important. Aggression is the same. Being competitive, the same. I think they are competitive, they are aggressive. It's only in how we prepare. It's only, for me, that is not easy to explain, but it's to care, is to maybe to feel like when we play in our clubs, if we lose, it's some consequence. Maybe if that doesn't happen, sometimes I don't say that you don't care, but I think you take it more relaxed way. I think the game was, I think we all felt that on the end we will appear the opportunity and we'll score and we win the game and we celebrate and go for the final Sunday. I think that was the feeling. On the pitch was the feeling from you, for the player, and for us. And that is a wrong feeling because you need to score, you need to be aggressive, you need to be proactive, score 2, 3, 4-0, and then, okay, be relaxed on the last few minutes because you have the difference. But until there, that was the problem. We wasting 45 minutes, and then second half, I think we were better. But on the end, you pay the last action, but it's a consequence of how we start the game. So relax.
Second row, right in the middle.
Hi, Mauricio. Doug McIntyre, Fox Sports. You mentioned a couple times that there'll be lineup changes tomorrow. How much rotation should we expect, and how do you strike a balance between giving some new guys opportunity and letting the guys who played the other night kind of make up for the performance the other night?
No, I think for sure we plan before Panama to change or to see some players. Even if we should talk in a different way here. I think it's important to keep some players playing and then do some changes. We are not going to change 11 players. We are checking now some player that finished with maybe some issues, another that didn't play and appeared some issues yesterday. Now it's about to try to be sure that our decision and to choose the player that are 100% ready to play tomorrow.
Front row, right in the middle.
Hi, Mauricio.
Hello.
Steve Goff from the Washington Post. Football, of course, is a team game, but there's also a big spotlight on Christian Pulisic. In these big moments, are you expecting more from Christian? How do you balance the burden that's put on him and what he can do to lift the team?
No, I think we expect more from everyone, from all the players. I think our expectation is so high. But I think it's not to put excuse, but player like him is under pressure in the last few months, so high pressure. As not to, for sure, that is not the Christian that we wanted to see, but because I think he can do much better. One of the things that we were talking yesterday, I think that game didn't describe or doesn't describe how we are, like a team, like an individual players, like a coaches, like a USA men national team. For different reason, because of that can happen, we need to improve. But I think is always to put in context the form, the situations, in context also from where you come. And sometimes this type of competition arrive in a good moment, sometimes not in a good moment for different player, and that can affect the performance of the team. But I am sure if we are thinking into the main objective, that is the World Cup, no doubt that Christian is going to be ready and is going to be in his best and going to be one of the best for sure for us.
To your right, second row.
Okay.
Hi, Mauricio.
Hi.
Pardeep Khatri, CBS Sports. You're about 6 months into the job, and you've only, I think, coached almost exclusively against Concacaf opponents. Have there been any surprises about this job or about, the region itself, the opponents, and have you learned anything from all of this so far?
No. The only thing that we are discovering, different way to work and of course, how tough it is for the player also to come from Europe, arrive Monday afternoon with all that represent the jet lag, change the timings and everything, and be ready to compete Thursday. Also, we need to understand that it's really complex, the situation. But I think all that we are discovering is things that only we need to pay attention, maybe in a different way when we were involved in the clubs. Sometimes it's frustrating for us. We feel frustrated. Sometimes we feel disappointed because on the end, when you have the player, every day, you can affect directly in a better way. When you need to share with the national team with the clubs, because the clubs own the player, sometimes you need to to pay attention and be really, really concentrating how to help in the best way, but not affecting the clubs and trying to help the player in an individual way. But yes, that is about to learn how to adapt and to accept that you have the control in few days, but how you can affect this. That is what I was talking before. The chemistry is so important. We are learning a lot now, how they are living. The information through the field, amazing, but also the information how they are living now, what they are doing now. They are all together, few groups. How is the dynamic of the group? Is important because that is going to also to help him to perform better.
Third row, right in the middle. Glasses.
Ryan Tolan from Gold. Mauricio, you spoke the other night also about wanting to see your players take more risks. And I'm sure that comes down to a few things, whether that's confidence and player profiles and familiarity with you. I'm sure no player wants to be the person to make a mistake in front of the new coach. When you're coaching these players and getting them ready to go, how do you make them more comfortable taking those types of risks? And what kind of risks do you want to see this group take to kind of create more and be better on the field?
Yeah, but I think it's about relationship. It's about that they need to trust. They need to trust in that they can make a mistake. And the mistake is not to try again. For me, that is the most important. Players need to know that we are not going to. I don't know how to say, but people that take risk is what we want, is what we love. You cannot play football without risk. If you want to play safe, you are not going to affect the game. That is important thing that also that we were talking yesterday is to take risk. Is to be brave. What we accept is you take a risk and you made a mistake and you try again and it's not a problem. You try again, it's not a problem. The problem is when you don't try. That is it's so flat, the game. Like was during the first half. If you analyze the first half, was so flat. It's like one team that with amazing, I want to say amazing, but knowing what we need to do, positional game, everything, structure, pass the ball, yes, and then what more? It's like we play without goals, no? But the principal objective is to score. What we prepare and we try to distract the opponent is about to find the possibility to go after and score. But I think that we really enjoy more keeping possession, playing, but not scoring goal. And that balance sometimes happens when you are on the beginning building something that you want to be protagonist, dominate the opponent, and yes, sometimes that type of thing we need some period to realize and to get the right balance in between when we need to keep the possession and playing and building, when you need to adopt a very good position on the pitch to help the structure, but when the structure is there and you have the possibility, is when to accelerate the game and going forward and be aggressive. That is sometimes that we were missing against Panama.
Hola Mauricio, con ese tema, viniste aquí para llevar este equipo a los octavos o mejor de un mundial y ganar a los equipos más grandes del mundo de fútbol, pero es probable que
It is
ustedes
probable
tengan en el mundial
that
al
you
menos 2 o 3 partidos como el
had
mismo desafío que
2 or 3 matches with the same challenges that you faced against Panama with more defensive teams.
esa creatividad, la falta de creatividad ha sido
There
un
was a
poco
lack of creativity, has been a characteristic of this team. So do you think that you should change something for next year? I like the question, because I'm able to say that these kind of matches, like the one versus Panama, not only because we lost, but this should be a great lesson learned, that we cannot underestimate any opponent, that we have to be aggressive and to be more proactive no matter the opponent. If we play against England, Brazil, Spain, or Argentina, the team is scared that they are playing against a big team, thinks that as a coach you have to have an impact when you play against a team that is better than you are going to be passive, and this is not good for football. And this kind of matches, like the one against Panama, should be a call of attention, especially when we play in competitions such as the World Cup. We learn from these experiences not to find different chemistries in terms of relationships on the pitch with the selection of the head coach, but with this kind of game, you have to be very patient. You have to find the capability to have a good flow in the game with different speeds, and when you have the space or the opportunity to be able to score, to be aggressive and create opportunities. This is more or less what describes what we have to work in a little over a year until the World Cup if we really want to be in those rounds. We have to be more competitive and we are going to be fighting for more important things. Hello, hello, good morning. You were speaking about the need of scoring goals. You are generating the opportunities, but you are not scoring, and you have to score in order to win. What's the transition to achieve that goal? And especially speaking about young players, what are you going to do in order to develop the synergy between young players and the more experienced players? Well, scoring goal, you said it, it's very important. Ricardo Pepe was injured or a volley wound or players like that.
La posibilidad de también estar con nosotros, Sargent.
That are able to be with us, Patrick, Sargent, White, Brandon Vasquez. I mean, we were not lucky. We were unfortunate because we haven't been able to see some of those players. So we need to be more stable in attacking positions. Tim Weah, for example, that was suspended or injured, and now he's playing with us. But I mean, it's to be consistent, to be stable, to be able to work with the group at 70, 80%, knowing that that should be the group that will be taking part in the World Cup. And young players can always surprise you. For the second part of your question, we pay attention to younger players because by paying attention to them so that they feel confident, they can be better. That's why we brought so many younger players. Most of them play here at the MLS so that they feel that they can be part of this opportunity and they can surprise you, they could become important players for the national team. And there are many examples about this. The most important thing is for us to pay attention and that they feel that we are paying attention to them. Jack McLean, for example, is a young player with great talent. And if he feels confident, this could be very good for the team. He's a different player. He had the opportunity today and maybe in the future, and he could be a great player. So you have to pay attention to the younger players, to what extent they are mature or not, because this could be different for everyone. Hello, Mauricio. After the defeat against Panama, there is a lot of doubts by the media and the fans about the goals for next year. The stadiums are going to be full next year, but do you think that it is valid that these doubts exist? Well, this is part of the defeat. When there is a loss, there is criticism, and you have positive and negative critics, but you also have the constructive criticism. This is the one that we have to consider. There is a lot of evidence where teams for years and years prepare themselves for the World Cup, and they are in great shape, and they come to the World Cup, and they fail in the very first round in the qualifiers. As a story, we can speak about many teams that have been preparing themselves for many years, and they come to the World Cup, and for many reasons they don't do well. And favorite teams that are eliminated, and teams that didn't have a good journey to the World Cup, they have a good performance. So not necessarily if you win matches and now you're going to be in the great position in the World Cup. It depends on many things, you know. How do you use the experience to evaluate why you have losses and wins? Sometimes we analyze the losses, but not the wins. And sometimes the wins lead you to the wrong journey, and losses or defeats that lead you to the right way to achieve your goal. You know, this is something that is very common in this sport. It doesn't have a logic, you know, behind that. So you might win all the matches and you go to the cup and you fail. Maybe you had a bad journey in terms of a result, but your players are in the greatest shape, and you hit the right key for the team at that point in time, and you have a great performance in the World Cup. So the coaching staff have to adapt to different things and to suffer certain things in order to know the people you have in the group. And in this suffering, you know, you get to know the essence, the nature of everyone. Of course, it is important to know the people in the victory and the success, but this is not an excuse for not winning. But I understand the doubts, and that's okay. I come from Argentina. When you don't win, even when you play right or wrong, there is a lot of excessive criticism, including disrespect. And I don't like that, but this has an impact in the next preparation, because no one likes to be criticized. I understand it like this, but I accept that from the media, by the fans that wants to see the team win. Thank you very much.